Karachi, a mega metropolis of over 20 million people, riven by political tensions, it's awash with organised crime and a target for Taliban insurgents. The city's police are fighting desperately to stop it slipping into anarchy. But as the death toll rises, will their controversial methods restore stability or just make things worse?
Karachi, home to over 20 million people. For many of them, travelling to work in Pakistan's commercial capital, scenes like this, the gruesome aftermath of a suicide attack, are becoming all too common. Last year, more than 2,700 people were murdered in Karachi alone. This blast targeted an army officer. No one has claimed the attack, but Karachi is awash with potential suspects. From gangs linked to political parties to religious militants, including the Taliban. Karachi looks increasingly like a city out of control. These are the men who are trying to bring back some order and security. At the forefront is Shahid Hayat, Additional Inspector General of the Karachi Police.
Karachi is a very complex city. There are lots of issues, lots of problems. There is militancy, there is political militancy, religious militancy, sectarianism is a big issue here. The Taliban they are a reality here in Karachi.
Crime in Karachi reached a historic high in 2013. In September, law enforcement agencies launched an aggressive new strategy known as Operation Karachi. It was intended to meet force with force, tackling known criminals in a series of targeted raids. Dozens of suspects have been killed, yet every raid seems to generate bloody reprisals.
Initially, it went very well, but of late, in the last month, we have seen increase in target killing and terrorism. Last year, it was 171 police officers who got killed. And this year alone, there have been like 38. This is the highest toll we have suffered, the police.
Karachi's crime wave is now virtually an insurgency. Earlier this year, the city's toughest cop was targeted. Chaudhry Aslam was a household name in Pakistan. He became notorious as a Taliban hunter. Aslam survived 9 attacks by militants, but on January the 9th, in a huge suicide attack on his vehicle, the Taliban finally got their man. 2 other officers also died in the blast. The attack happened while Operation Karachi was in full flow. It took out a man many saw as a shield against the Taliban's advance on Karachi. The rise in these attacks reverberated around a city where tensions already run high.
क्या होगा कराची का समझ नहीं आया कोई बोलने वाला नहीं है कोई रोकने वाला नहीं है कोई कानून अब ये पुलिस वाले ही महफूज नहीं है तो आवाम का क्या होगा
वही है कि सुबह निकलते हैं बस शाम को बस अल्लाह जानता है कि जिंदा लौटेंगे या नहीं लौटेंगे बस यही होता है बस ऑपरेशन हो सकता है कामयाब भी हो सकता है ना भी हो सकता है ये तो अब इन्हीं पे डिपेंड करता है ना
Alongside Operation Karachi, regular policing must still continue. Today, Shahid Hayat's first job is to deal with an extortion threat sent to a group of doctors.
Oh, Mirza Bhai wala, ये सब doctors को आ रहा है. हाँ, nothing, कोई ऐसी बात नहीं. क्योंकि कोई ये को 20-25 आगा खान के भी doctors हैं जिनको आया है. Thank you. चलें भाई. Let's go. अच्छा तो बाहर क्यों खड़े थे आप लोग? These are the new officers we have. It's just joint service and. Why have you put on so much weight here?
Sir, I'm just.
अच्छा तो you sit here. Let me come back. We'll discuss it out. where you should post it. ठीक है ना? आप लोग बैठो. ठीक है? अंदर बैठ जाओ आप.
The extortion threat has come in an email from outside of Pakistan.
We don't know who he is right now, but we have a few leads. So we are trying to locate him and...
You think he's a Pakistani?
He's a Pakistani, yeah, no doubt. My apologies.
In a city of big money, extortion is common. But there's another disturbing aspect to crimes in Karachi.
It has been established in the Supreme Court that the political parties have their militant wings, and they use those militant wings to create political space for them. They indulge in political violence off and on, and most of the political parties are at loggerheads with each other.
And some of the parties have a history of animosity towards the police. Today, things look like they're coming to a head. The most powerful party in Karachi is the MQM. This morning, they're holding a press conference.
और क्या पुलिस के पास है, किसी लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी के पास है, किसी खुफिया एजेंसी के पास है, या वो जिंदा भी है या नहीं, जिनके बारे में हमें कुछ नहीं पता.
He was talking about a guy who has been killed somewhere in one of the police stations in Karachi, and he was saying that he was he was alleging that he was picked up by the police. His dead body was found. So we are still investigating what happened and who picked him up.
The MQM is currently out of office, but it's still a major force in Karachi. When displeased, it's been known to shut down much of the city by enforcing widespread strikes. Now, following the death of a 10th party worker, there's a good chance of another strike. If so, it'll be a serious challenge for Hayat and his force.
We'll have to cover certain areas which we think are vulnerable, which should be covered. So we'll have to deploy our men over there. We'll have to do some patrolling in places.
Most of these strikes which we have witnessed, they tend to be very violent.
Hayat is no stranger to strikes. Back in 1992, protests by the MQM triggered 3 years of citywide violence. Hundreds of police were killed. Hayat himself was shot 3 times and badly wounded.
Khalid base, Khalid, Karachi.
Today, the inevitable happens. Hayat gets a call.
ये DIGs को बताओ कि कल स्ट्राइक कॉल है, तो तमाम को रेड अलर्ट कर दें. अभी जो नफरी है रात वाली वो छोड़नी नहीं है. रेड अलर्ट उनको दें, फिर कल देखेंगे. ओवर.
You don't seem overly worried.
No, I'm not showing it to you. We are used to it by now.
Although the strike is now imminent, Hayat carries on with his normal duties. That evening, he awards merits to a group of officers. At such a time, he knows it's vital to boost their morale.
खैबर पख्तूनख्वा का पंजाब पुलिस में मैंने काम किया, लेकिन मैं उधर भी टीवी पे हर जगह मैं सब अफसरान को कहता हूँ, मैंने जितनी गैरत कराची वालों में है, पुलिस वालों में, और किसी में नहीं है, किसी और फोर्स में नहीं है.
It's the following morning. In downtown Karachi, there's none of the usual intense bustle. One political party has silenced the commercial centre of a city that brings in 20% of the country's GDP.
ताजरों से भी बोला है कि भाई आप साल करो, अपना कारोबार बंद रखो, नहीं तो नुकसान हो. जो रोजमर्रा के कारोबार करने वाले हैं उनको भी नुकसान है, जो तनख्वाह पाने वाले हैं उनको भी सबके नुकसान ही नुकसान. इसका हड़ताल से ये मतलब चीज़ है.
The MQM see the strike as a legitimate protest against the police force that they believe is politicised. They claim that Operation Karachi's real purpose is to undermine their power.
one of the unfortunate incidents that was the 10th MQM worker killed by the police extrajudicially. And that was the day that we've been keep telling police and the rangers and the law enforcing agencies that you just cannot kill the people like that. So we observe a half-day strike.
Although the police are often at loggerheads with the MQM, there's a new problem in Karachi that's given them a common enemy, the Taliban.
We are focusing on the integrity of Pakistan. Taliban is a biggest threat to Pakistan national security. And they have attacked even my head offices. I have lost more than 100 of my workers. And you just can't expect political parties to combat or to fight or to fire upon Taliban. Political parties can't do that because they don't have arms to do that. It's the job of the law enforcing agencies, including Pakistan Army.
Despite the high levels of violence, none of Karachi's political parties admits to having an armed wing. Yet the police assert that nearly all of the city's parties, including religious groups, have links to militancy. This intrigue makes delicate work for Karachi's journalists.
Political parties need to make money, and they make money off extortion.
Mahim Maher is city editor of the Express Tribune.
The turf is divided up by political parties, and then there are areas where they have a fight as well. Karachi is awash in guns, and one of the best ways to send a message across is to bump off political workers from a rival party. They have lists, so they'll pick up a rival political party's activist, they'll torture them, they'll shoot them, and they'll leave their body in a gunny bag.
Karachi is a vast patchwork of religious and ethnic communities, and some of them have become known for specific types of violence. Mahim's team have created a map to try and make sense of these killings.
So we're in the main newsroom right now. So page 18 is the crime map.
Each day they tally up Karachi's violent crimes and mark their location on the map.
Homicides in Karachi, or the political violence and the target killings, they're not restricted to one area. So you can see the killings start in one area, which belongs to one political party or one ethnic group or one religious group, and in reaction it start to flare up in another area, and then it start to flare up in another area.
We are going to start from killings of the week. First killing in Orangi, Sher Shah, one Liari, Said, and one in Orangi again, then Garden. Actually, it is depressing because when we are pointing out that there was a robbery, and the same day you are going home and people are coming with a gun and they are snatching everything from you. So you feel like a dot in 20 million people. No one is safe in this city, even if it's police or if it's rangers or if it's a common citizen.
The crime map identifies hotspots so rife with violence that they're heavily targeted by police raids. But despite all the arrests, there's little security for the people of Karachi. And it's not only the authorities who are being hit. These scenes follow a shooting in an area known as Baldia. The previous evening, 8 people were shot dead at a religious gathering. The survivors have been brought here to the civil hospital.
वाक़या पेश यूँ हुआ था कि ज़िक्र में बैठे हुए थे, मगरिब के टाइम ज़िक्र की महफ़िल होती है, वहाँ महफ़िल पे ज़िक्र कर रहे थे। अचानक से बंदे आए, लाइट भी बंद थी, आए हैं बंदे, उतर के फायरिंग की उन्होंने और वो भाग गए। ये तो कुछ समझ नहीं आ रही, बहुत सारे वो क्रिमिनल्स को पकड़ते भी हैं, मारते भी हैं, फिर भी ये कहाँ से आ जाते हैं, कैसे आ जाते हैं, इसकी कोई समझ नहीं आ रही।
Certain areas in Karachi are now known to contain active Taliban fighters. In the past, the Taliban used the city as a place to make money through crime, while carrying out their military actions in Pakistan's northern areas. Operation Karachi's aim is to rid the city of the militants, once and for all. To do so, Hayat's men have to hunt through the intricate maze of a megacity.
As far as religious militants is concerned, these are the outskirts of Karachi we are really concerned with. Fatih Pahad is there, and it is probably infested with Talibans. Look at the topography, the topography of the area. I mean, it's very difficult to go and encircle that area and conduct siege and surge operations. So we have to have targeted operations carried on, and the force which we have and technological support that we have, that is nothing basically. We only have 1,200 cameras to surveil the city.
At any given time, Hayat's active force consists of just 6,000 men. Such limited resources mean that targeted raids are a key tactic. Back on the ground, Hayat's men are about to go into action.
हमने जो मोबाइल वाले हैं वो टोटल आउटर लगेंगे, एक जगह रेड कर रहे हैं हम, वो उस पे चारों तरफ से उसको घेरना है हमने, ठीक है?
Sub-Inspector Amanullah Mawat is leading today's operation. He and his unit have killed over 40 suspected criminals in what are known locally as police encounters. Today, they're gearing up to seize the leader of a local gang.
अपना तकरीबन हमारे थाने से जो है 3-4 मुकदमात में जो है वो मर्डर में हम इसको गिरफ्तार करके अदालत तक ले जाए, कोई मजम्मत की तो उसके बाद हम फिर जवाबी फायरिंग करेंगे। जहांगीर बेर माफिद इब्राहिम हैदरी, हम जुमा कोर्ट में कोई रेड की इत्तला है हमें, जल्दी आओ जल्दी आओ।
Amanullah's men are well armed and prepared for trouble. Thanks to a tip-off, they catch the gangster while he's still asleep. They find a loaded pistol and a shotgun. So far, there's been over 10,000 raids in Operation Karachi. 4,500 weapons have been seized. But it's not easy to get their owners convicted.
तो अभी उसमें गवाह और ये सारी चीज़ें तफ्तीश प्रोसिक्यूशन तैयार करके तो हम अदालत में पेश करेंगे और इसको इंशाल्लाह सज़ा दिलवाएंगे। वहाँ का जो है वो असल में उन पर बड़ा प्रेशर होता है, ये इनके जो ग्रुप बकाया होता है ना जो बाहर होता है, तो वो इनको काफ़ी प्रेशराइज करता है कि आप हमें कोर्ट में शनाख्त नहीं करोगे, आप गवाहों में नहीं जाओगे।
Arrested unharmed by an officer with 40 recorded kills, this gang leader could count himself lucky to be alive. Though Operation Karachi has produced thousands of arrests, some experts say it fails to address the root of the problem.
Operations are a quick fix. Countries don't run on quick fixes. Countries run on policies, on thought-out policies.
Salim Vahidi is a former Karachi police chief and later head of the Witness Protection Unit at the UN. Pakistan currently has no witness protection program, though the government plans to introduce one. Given the country's culture, it'll be a challenge.
Look at what happens in a court. The policeman goes there, even if he's got an accused handcuffed with him. He goes there because the police is there, he goes and sits down on the bench, he orders some tea, and given the cultural sort of background we come from, he has the cup of tea and he also gives the accused the cup of tea. Now, witness or a complainant, he's also there in the court, come for the hearing. And what does he see? He sees this guy sitting on a bench with the policeman having tea. So what sort of faith will he have in a system?
Even when suspects are brought to court, there's little chance they'll be convicted.
We talk about low conviction rates. I mean, all sorts of figures are quoted, 10%, 5%, 2%. But the fact is, in Pakistan, I believe, it is probably less than 0.5%. Justice is never provided. Cases, criminal cases go for 10, 15 years. Civil cases go for 20, 25 years. So, I mean, what sort of society are we running, you know?
While we were filming in Karachi, the police were rocked by an unprecedented attack. It happened at a training academy on the outskirts of the city.
रज़ाकाबाद पुलिस ट्रेनिंग सेंटर में बम ब्लास्ट हुआ। ये बड़ी गाड़ी थी, एक कार आल्टो कार है जो उसके अंदर घुसी है, दोनों गाड़ियाँ तबाह हो गई है। कम से कम भी 70-80 पुलिस वाला था।
किसी का चेहरा नहीं है, किसी का पूरा आधा धड़ नहीं है, किसी का नीचे से आधा धड़ नहीं है, मतलब पूरा हाल हुआ था।
Shahid Hayat arrives at the hospital to consult with doctors and be by his men's side.
There are 12 dead, 3 are serious, and there are about 30 who are injured. Most probably, up till now, we think it was a VBIED.
A VBIED, or Vehicle-Borne Improvised Explosive Device, is a trademark Taliban weapon. The Taliban claimed the attack, while the death toll rose to 13. It was the biggest loss ever suffered by the Karachi police in one incident.
I mean, any other country, it would have been a day of national mourning. But we have become I think we have become inured to it. There have been so many killings over the years that people, the reactions of the people are not what they should have been. Losing a colleague is always anguishing and painful, but when you lose someone who you really know for so long, then it is very, very painful. It becomes almost unbearable at times. And it gnaws at you, and really the burden is too much to carry at times. We have lost quite a lot of men.
Such losses make events like this a regular part of Hayat's schedule. It's the funeral of Sub-Inspector Aftab Qayyum, a forensics officer shot while on duty in central Karachi.
When you see the kids, he had very young kids, all these officers who get killed in the line of duty. It's a great sense of anguish and grief.
After the funeral, Hayat visits the families of policemen killed in other incidents. He gives the dead officers' sons a certificate guaranteeing a job in the force when they turn 18.
तो ये अभी से मैंने कहा कि आप लोगों के पास हो ये एक अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर है हमारा डिपार्टमेंट का, ताकि ये जो है कल को अगर इंसान का, तो हम लोगों का तो पता नहीं है, कभी इंसान की ट्रांसफ़र हो जाए, पोस्टिंग हो जाए, तो ये आपके पास रिकॉर्ड के तौर पे आपको इधर दफ्तरों के धक्के ना खाने पड़े। मेहनत करें। कहीं पढ़ रहे हो नहीं?
जी जी सर, पढ़ रहे हैं। यहाँ कोस्ट गार्ड में ना, गार्ड पब्लिक स्कूल है, वहाँ पे पढ़े हैं 6th क्लास में।
आपका कोई भी मसला हो तो हमारे इधर जो ऑफिसर हैं उनको आप बता दें, तो इंशाल्लाह कोई भी इशू अगर हो, ठीक है? ओके।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
In these harsh economic times, for many families, even a job in the line of fire is welcome.
मुर्तज़ा तुम्हारा नाम है? कितनी उम्र कितनी है बेटे? बस ये तुम्हारे पोस्टिंग के ऑर्डर हैं अपॉइंटमेंट के, ठीक है?
In a few weeks, Murtaza will be 18 and the third generation of his family to serve in the police.
शायद साहब का शुक्रगुजार हूँ मैं कि उन्होंने अच्छी नौकरी ऑफ़र की। वैसे लोग इस नौकरी के लिए बहुत तरसते हैं क्योंकि पक्की नौकरी बहुत कम लोगों को मिलती है।
Murtaza has only these photos of his father. Soon, he'll be wearing the same uniform.
दिल में होता है, लेकिन उसको खौफ को भी ख़त्म करना पड़ता है। पुलिस वाला आजकल इस दौर में पुलिस वाले की कोई अहमियत नहीं रखी। उसी आम इंसान की नहीं है, तो ये हादसा आम हो जाते हैं, ये आम हादसे हैं। एक आदमी क्या, बम धमाके में कितने कितने लोग मारे जाते हैं इनकी वजह से। जो किस्मत में होता है वो होता है।
Once Karachi was called the City of Lights. Now it lies on the edge of darkness. Every day its citizens are fighting, some for their beliefs, some for greed, but most just to survive. Shahid Hayat cannot afford to lose his battle for Karachi.
It's our social values at stake, it's our society in general at stake. We have to take action now, and it's not only the Taliban. We can't rid Karachi of crime until and unless we get rid of political militancy as well. Because political militancy, religious militancy and the criminal gangs, they have made interlinkages. And so long as we don't get rid of them, it will be very difficult for us to cleanse this setting.